welcome to the 71st episode of NiinaN Knitting. My name is Niina and I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband, our two kids and a dog. Today is Friday, the 18th of June. I'm in a small forest and this year is an exceptionally good mosquito year, so I'm trying to make this short and sweet. I filmed a section yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was a very, very windy day. I'll have to see what I can do when I'm editing, but my apologies in advance if there's a lot of wind noise. Here I just have a lot of mosquitoes around me. So welcome to anybody who's new. Welcome to everybody who is returning. If you've watched my podcast before, you will know that I don't podcast regularly, and it's just not how my life works, really. In the winter, it's challenging with the lighting. In the summer, well, it's not the lighting that's challenging because we have a lot of light in the winter, in the summer, but the problem is that everybody's out and I don't feel comfortable podcasting with just some random people going by. So it's not me, even though my videos are public and anybody is welcomed to come and see them, but just don't really want them to see me podcast when I'm doing all this with all the mosquitoes. Let's start with the finished objects as always, shall we? My first finished object, since it is summer, is of course a hat, a baby hat. This is the Marmarosh hat by Ravelry. And I used some Novita Rose yarn, which is not what's recommended in the pattern. It's not even the right weight. But this is 70% acrylic, 30% wool. It's got 189 meters per 50 grams. It's 50 grams raw, and that means it's 378 liters for 100 grams. As you can see, I think it's got these sort of mohair-like hair, and even though as for the meterage, it's like a sort of a thick fingering, heavyweight fingering, but you can't use the same size needles with this one. I used a 3.0 millimeter needle for the ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, and then that's US size 2.5, and then I used 3.5 millimeter needles for the rest of the hat. That's US size 4. I really like the crown of the hat. It's really pretty. I really like it. Oh, I really can't remember which size I used. I started with 1, but then I realized that it was going to be way too big even for an adult. So I picked the one size down. I may have used the smallest size of the pattern. I used the Chinese waitress cast on. I don't know if it focuses because I really can't see the screen at all. That's not recommended in the pattern, but I just figured that I might want to just try it for the hat. And well, I'll take the headphones off and show you how this looks on me. It's a little bit too small for my size, I think. So the instructions told you, or told the knitter, whatever, to make one more repeat of the patterning, I think, the motif. But I didn't want to make it very slouchy, and I didn't even think that I would be wearing this hat myself, because, you know, well, first of all, it's not even my color, but I just wanted to use the yarn to make something pretty. So I made it a little shorter, so that I guess this will be a sort of a teenager or child size hat, big-headed child like mine. And I'll be, you know, donating this in the fall, because I don't think it'll be. I don't think that there's any point in donating it now in the summer. But yeah, very nice little hat pattern, and I enjoyed knitting it. My second finished object is a pair of socks. I have one on the leg, one without a leg. The other leg is wearing another sock. But this pattern is Elemental Socks, SKA Cal by Laura Falling, maybe. So it's the Sock Knitters Anonymous Ravelry group mystery knit along for May 2021, and the yarn I used here is Frau Odersocke Sockenwolle in the colorway Rose Beauty, and it's got like 420 meters in 100 grams and 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It's a cuff down sock. I used my 2.5 millimeter Chaugu needles. That's US size 1.5, and the size I knit, the size of the sock is medium, so it's got 64 stitches around. And yeah, so it's a cuff down. It's not just a normal 2x2 ribbing cuff. It's a little more. There's a little bit more. So there's some lace in the cuff. And yeah, this came into 4 clues once a week, and I think this is the first. I can't remember how much was the first. Maybe the first clue was just the cuff or something. But yeah, so it's the Elemental Socks. It's got the 4 basic elements: air, earth, wind, and fire. I don't remember which is the. I think earth is here. This must be wind or something. Yeah, I guess this is wind. But yeah, so of course my yarn doesn't show off the lace as much as some other yarn would, but I kind of like it, even though you can't. Well, it's got a lot of holes. The whole lace motif has a lot of holes, so it does sort of. You can sort of see it, even though the colorway is very dark, where in the places where it's not pink. But yeah, it's kind of a fun, and I really like these. This is like the feather and fan sort of motif here. The pearl bumps highlight the differences in the color of the sock, the different stripes. So I think this part is my favorite of the sock. It's very, very fun. Then it's got, you know, just a normal wedge toe and crafting at the toe, and the heel flap is just a normal heel stitch. What's the slip stitch heel flap? But it's got French heel turn, and the gusset decreases are here, not here like in many socks. It's here just where the bottom of the sock starts. So that's something a little bit different. But yeah, I think they look fun. Son is doing the best to give some sort of light effects of it. So, but yeah, a pair of socks, and these will be going to one of my nieces. And my third finished object is also a pair of socks. Ta-da! So this is a pair of socks that I made to use up this wonderful Frau Odersocke yarn. This colorway is called Englische and Rosen, English rose. And I showed you the like full length socks last time, and here are the sort of ankle socks that I made from the rest of the yarn. So I started it toe up, used my 2.5mm Chaubu red lace needles, size 1.5, and I cast on Julie's Magic cast on, and I cast on 16 stitches. I was knitting these two at a time. I mentioned that, did I? So I increased until I had 60 stitches, and then I switched to the this is Frau yarn, this blue yarn here at the toes and at the cuff. So that's Frau, and it's colorway number 103. And yeah, so the stitch pattern here on the top of the foot is from another one from the Vogue knitting stationery that I got from my sister a while ago, a few years ago. It's just a very simple knit purl stitch pattern, and they form these diamonds. Quite a fun and very, very easy pattern to knit, and these actually are mirror images. I don't know if you can see it from here, so I can't see the screen. Whatever. So yeah, so I started doing the motif on the top of the foot, and of course just plain stockinette on the sole. When I had worked 13 centimeters, I started doing the heel increases that I followed from Minna Sorvala's sock pattern called Lame Socks, because it's a pair of toe-up socks, and I'm not familiar enough. I don't know the heel construction for toe-up socks well enough to just, you know, knit it. I have to have instructions, but because I was following the instructions, I forgot that on the first pair of the shorty socks that I made toe up, I had done the increases here on the sole, and yeah, it does look totally different when you do the increases here. I would have preferred it sort of on like around the heel bone, but yeah, it's fine like this, but yeah, it would have been nicer on the sole. Whatever. And yeah, so then you have the slip stitch heel flap here, and then you do the turn here. Yeah, and when I had sort of run out of this Frau Odersocke yarn, I just started working with the Frau again and made some, I think 7 rounds of 2x2 ribbing and a sewn bind off for the cuff. This pattern motif is number 172 in the book, if you have the book. You know, all the details are on my Ravelry page that you can find from the video description in the show notes. These are a Christmas present for my niece, the second pair, for another niece. So I have already made 2 Christmas presents, and it's just like mid-June. Very happy with myself. Just quickly, a couple of whips. I have 2 that I'm going to show you. First of all, this is my V-back tee. It's a pattern by Jamie Huffman. I'm using my 4.0mm Chaugu red lace needles now. That's US size 6. I used 3.5mm needles for the ribbing, and that's US size 4. And I made a provisional cast on. Let's see if I can get it to focus, because it tends to focus on my face and not on the thing. Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's not in the pattern, but I wanted to do that. And then the yarns I have used here are some minis from Giddy Yarns, and I talked about this in my last episode. I had ordered 2 sets of her marvelous mystery minis or something, so January and February. And last time I podcast, I had just gotten the minis, and now here they are knit up. So there are 10 minis knit up in the shirt, and the thing where I've stopped is I have to put this in a cake. So this is the rest of the yarn. Focus, yes. So Giddy Yarns superwash merino nylon 75% 25 merino nylon blend yarn, and the colorway, it has been customly made just for me to match the minis, and I really like them, but I haven't caked this up, and this shirt has been in a standstill for quite a while, because my yarn winding equipment is in the cupboard, and whenever I cake stuff I have to make some room and put them into place, and then of course undo the whole thing. So that hasn't been happening yet. Maybe later today, we'll see. But yeah, so far I really like this. I've knit this pattern once before. I showed it in the first episode of the year, and that was knit up from Giddy Yarns Advent calendar minis. So I used 20 20 of the minis in that shirt, and I'm going to continue from this. I have a million, just about a million mosquitoes flying around me. Yeah. So the second whip that I'm going to show you, and that's all that you'll see today. Sorry, I know it's been a long pause after my last episode, and this one is not going to be long, but it is how it is. But the big news is that I have finished all my Kalevala blanket squares. So there were 24 of them. There were a couple of bonus squares, but I didn't make those. But I have the last 5 squares here. Wow. So Kalevala blanket was something that I started on 2017 when Finland turned 100, or it was our 100-year independence anniversary, whatever. And I started this project then. It was a crochet along, but I didn't finish. But now I have crocheted all the squares, and so this square is called Tapio, and Tapio is a character in the epic Kalevala. Don't remember, I think he's the has to do with forest, like the king of the forest or something, whatever. The yarns here are Menita Lasse. It's a 75% wool, 25% nylon or polyamide blend, and there are 200 meters in 100 grams and different colorways of this. It was a package, a set for specifically for this project that I bought when the crochet along was starting. So this is Tapio, and I think there were nothing specific to say about this. No stitches that I hated crocheting, because there are quite a few that I don't like making, but I still did them or made them. This is called Lintukoto, bird home. I guess this is supposed to be the bird home. I don't know. It was pretty fun to crochet this. I really wouldn't have been able to finish the square if there hadn't been a really good video tutorial to show how each of the stitches and all the rows are made, because this was a tricky one, really tricky. But yeah, it's done. And then there is Marjatta. Marjatta is a woman's name. I really have no recollection of what her role is in Kalevala, but here it is. I actually liked making these small berries. I think in one of the different suggestions of colorways or colors, these were crocheted with a red yarn, so they actually did look like berries, but of course mine are blue. Maybe they're blueberries, I don't know, but yeah, it's a kind of it's a pretty square, I think. And 2 more. This is, okay, right way around. This is kantele, harp. So kantele is an instrument that they played in the olden days, and people still play kantele or harp. Even nowadays, I think my daughter had some, they played some harp at school this year, so this is what this is is supposed to be. This was not easy, I think, not for me at least, but with the help of the video I finished it, and it's great. I'm really hating the mosquitoes. Okay, last one. Sammonryöstö, the theft of Sampo. I don't know how this is supposed to show the theft of Sampo, but I don't. Well, Sampo was the sort of money-making machine in the Kalevala epic, but yeah. I do like the colors though, they are really nice. Okay, so 5 squares in here. They are the last ones. I haven't soaked or blocked these yet, but I will before I start joining these to the project. I have even started the joining process. I have joined maybe 8 or some squares already. I didn't bring it with me, and I'm not gonna show you that part until next time when it's ready. I think it will be ready next time I record an episode. Yeah. Okay, I gotta get out of this forest. I'm going to get a haircut today. Oh, I have been waiting for that for so long, and now today I have an appointment at the coiffeur. What is it? Hairdressers, and I'm getting a haircut, and yes, it's gonna, be cut. It's gonna be short, and you'll see it in my next video. Yeah, and we will be going to my mom's. I will be seeing my mom after last time I saw her was last July. Wonderful. And then we'll have some there's a family get-together of what's the first communion party for one of my cousins, or actually my 2 cousins have their kids who are going to get their first communion, and they have the party this weekend, so I'll be seeing a bit of more of the family, which is great. But yeah, I know this looks terrible on camera, and I'm sorry, but I'm being eaten alive by the mosquitoes, and I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you're having a great time. Summer is great in here at the moment. It's very sunny. The weather forecast looks nice, plus 30 even, or something. Great, I love it. And I think it's gonna possibly stay like this for at least a week, which is great. Yeah, okay, have a great summer, or if you're on the other side of the globe, have a nice winter. I'm going to get back one of these days, don't know when. I have a ton of sewing to show you, and I'll make a different video from that, so maybe that will appear one of these days. I don't know. Sorry, this is just very, very incoherent, but I wish you well. And yeah, mosquitoes, they're not dangerous, they just itch when they sting, They're not dangerous in Finland. We don't have any sort of diseases, really. They're not a big risk here, but they're annoying. Yes, sorry. I'm just gonna stop. Have a great summer. Bye.